Prepare your sphincters, guys, because we've got a good one, and if your nipples aren't already hard, they soon will be. What we have here is just, it's just so good. And my nipples are hard already. This deck is nothing short of a masterpiece. From a distance, it looks like a typical blue-black control deck. You got your Fatal Pushes, your Inquisitions, your Thoughtseizes, your Collective Brutalities, your 4 Serum Visions, Liliana, all the typical cards, but buried below the surface is the reason why my nipples are so hard. First of all, we have 3 Oboros, but if it's a legendary land, why have 3? My dear children, you will understand soon, but first, we have Bloodghast. Now, Bloodghast works really well in this deck because we have things that discard stuff, so we can use Liliana, we can use Collective Brutality to discard Bloodghast, and when we play a land, Bloodghast comes back from the graveyard to the battlefield. With Oboro, we can return it to hand, replay it, Bloodghast comes back, and we can do that every turn. But that alone would not get my nipples hard. In fact, they would still be quite soft. But now let's look at this card here, Quicksilver Fountain. Let's read it together. It says, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts a flood counter on target non-island he or she controls of his or her choice. That land is an island for as long as it has a flood counter on it. And then, at the beginning of each end step, if all lands on the battlefield are islands, remove all flood counters from them. So, the big downside to this card, if everything on the battlefield is an island, the counters are removed, the fountain's sacrificed, and everything was kind of pointless. But we have Oboro. So on your turn, at the beginning of your upkeep, the fountain makes you target a land, you target Oboro, but before the counter is placed on it, you bounce Oboro to hand, and you replay it. So none of your lands are turned into islands, all of your opponent's lands are turned into islands, and they die a slow death. But I know what you're thinking. What if they just kill the fountains a couple turns later? Well, that's fine, because even if the fountain dies, the counters stay on the lands. So your opponent's just left with nothing but islands. And just to clarify, they're not islands in addition to their other types, they're just islands. But I know what you're thinking. Why not just drop Blood Moon, because Blood Moon is instant? I'll tell you why. Because every turn, you get to gaze into your opponent's eyes, as one more of the precious lands becomes an island, and your opponent gazes back at you, knowing that soon, all their lands will be islands, and soon, there'll be nothing they can do, and they'll just have to sit there, as you slowly and painfully tighten the noose around them. That's why we don't use Blood Moon. But the best thing is that this deck does not need that combo to win. In fact, we only have 2 fountains in the deck, and the deck has plenty of other ways to crush your opponent's dreams. For example, 4 Damnations. So, turn 4, you board wipe, all your opponent's creatures die, but on your end, Creeping Tar Pit is fine, Bloodghast die, but Oboro, lands coming into play, it comes back. Plus it's Damnation, like it's the card you know that you've always wanted to make a deck around. I know that a while back when it was sitting at $50, you were there thinking that one day you'll make a deck around Damnation, and that's why every time you drop Damnation, you just hear money. And both Wrath of God and Damnation do the same thing, but when you drop Damnation, it's just 1,000 times cooler. But let's not forget to talk about Big Daddy himself, the Scarab God. Big Boy is a new card from Hour of Devastation. It's a 5/5 for 5. It says, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. The first ability is kind of meh, but the second ability is a lot more gangster. You pay 4, and it says, exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it except it's a 4/4 black zombie. So the cool thing is you can do it to your opponent's creatures, you can do it to your creatures, but it works exceptionally well in our deck because notice we have 4 Snapcasters. Even without Scarab God, Snapcaster works really well. We have a lot of low costing stuff, so we can bring back Fatal Pushes, Serum Visions, Inquisitions, but when you use it with Scarab God, Snapcaster comes back as a 4/4 zombie, but when it enters, its ability triggers, and the numbers work out where Scarab God costs 5, its ability costs 4, which means you're gonna have 1 leftover mana to use, at least. So Snapcaster comes back, you can use Inquisition, Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, it just happens to work out really nicely. Alternatively, you can have Bloodghast in the graveyard, use Scarab God with it, and if your opponent has less than 10 life, the token will come back with haste. So pretty cool, and its last ability is pretty good too. When it dies, it comes back to your hand. So unless your opponent has Path to Exile, they really can't get rid of it. And we only have 1 in the deck, but really 1's all you need. And that's because we're able to draw cards with Serum Visions, and our games usually go long anyway because our deck's pretty slow. So 1 is plenty. 2's okay, but 2's kind of pushing it because a lot of times it's just sitting there in your hand. But I'm a big fan of this card, it's pretty cool. A few more things to point out. Tasigur, we have a lot of stuff going to graveyard. We have 8 fetches that go to graveyard. So Tasigur can be played pretty early, and its ability is pretty nice in our deck. And also 3 Creeping Tar Pits. It seems a bit high, but the games do go pretty long, and Creeping Tar Pit kind of acts like a Celestial Colonnade, where it just sits there for a really long time, but then all of a sudden, like once everything's cleared out, you just start swinging away, and it wins quite a few games. But moving on to sideboard. First up, we have 3 Leyline of Sanctities. We don't have any white producing mana, but if it gets stuck in hand, we can always discard it. And there are a lot of decks out there that target you, so having it's really useful. Next up, Ceremonious Rejection. A lot of Tron decks floating around, a lot of Affinity decks floating around. Works pretty well against them. Dispel, a lot of burn decks, and Blue Light Control and Jessica Control are making a comeback, so Dispel's a nice card to have. Next up, Surgical Extraction. Hits cards in your opponent's graveyard. You can pay 0 to cast it, and it works really well against combo decks. So if there's a key card in their deck, you take it out of their graveyard, and you also search for it in their hand and their deck. Super expensive card, but it's worth it. Not really, but it is worth it. Not like $30 worth it, but you know, sometimes you just gotta pay what you gotta pay, I guess. I don't know. Moving on, we have Shadow of Doubt. Shadow of Doubt stops players from searching that turn, so if your opponent fetches, you can stop them from fetching. So it works well against Tron decks that are searching for their lands, and also like Titan Shift decks, which do a lot of searching. And it's a pretty pretty cool card. Next is Countersquall. It's basically a cooler version of Negate, but for whatever reason, the paper version is like, what, like $6-7, like, which is kind of ridiculous. But since we're blue-black, we might as well run it. There's plenty of decks out there with non-creature spells, so it's really nice to have. And out of all our sideboard cards, it's definitely one of the most played, so pretty cool. Next, we have Nihil Spellbomb. A lot of decks out there that interact with their graveyard. Stops Dredge, stops Tarmogoyf, Storm. Really nice card to have, and that's why we have 3. We also have 1 Pithing Needle. There are quite a few decks out there with activated abilities, so like Planeswalkers, Tron has a lot of activated abilities, stops Ether Vial, stuff like that. And we also have Engineered Explosives, because if our deck's gonna lose, it's most likely gonna lose to a really aggressive deck. So a deck with a lot of converted mana cost 1 cards, that's like the worst matchup for our deck. And Engineered Explosives can really help level the playing field. And plus, we have no permanents main deck that have converted mana cost of 1, or really 2 for that matter, except for like Snapcaster and Bloodghast. So it's pretty cool to have that as well. And I'm pretty confident with the sideboard because I spent a lot of time tweaking it, as in playing 70 matches to prepare for this kind of a lot. And I guess maybe I would change this to the black Leyline, but I'm pretty proud of the sideboard. It works pretty well. But without further ado, let's get to the gameplay. But as a quick reminder, if you want to see more videos like this, like more modern videos, you can let me know in the comments, you can let me know by subscribing, because I'm always trying to figure out what my audience wants, and sometimes it's hard to tell. So yeah, subscribing and commenting would really help out. But now let's actually get to the gameplay. No more waiting around, and I hope the gameplay makes your nipples as hard as mine. Opening hand seems alright. We'll start things off with a Thoughtseize, and it looks like we're up against elves. Cool. Might as well take the druid and then pass the turn. Devoted druid in an elf deck, so I guess it's counters company with elves. And we happen to draw Bloodghast, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop in Collected Company, 2 modes, killing the druid, gaining 2 life, dealing 2 damage to your opponent, and it's pretty good value by getting rid of Bloodghast. Then pass the turn back. Heritage Druid followed by this guy, then another one. Only problem we have to worry about right now is the Westvale Abbey. With this guy here, he can make enough mana to activate this, so we don't want that happening. So what we'll do is we'll drop in Collective Brutality just to buy us some time before we get off Damnation, and then pass the turn back. Devoted Druid again, and no attacks. That's a little odd. This guy can't block. Should we fetch now? I guess so. It's a hard decision with Bloodghast out because like kind of need the fetches to bring him back. We hit a land, but it's Darkslick Shores. Shit. Well, swinging for 2. No blocks from our opponent. Man, this card here, I mean, it might have been better just to put an extra swamp in instead of 4 of these, like instead go with 3 of them. But it's such a good card early game. I don't know. This guy, opponent swings in for 6, no blocks. Oh, I can feel the Damnation coming. All right, we'll swing with Bloodghast, and then we'll drop in Damnation, and they can't be regenerated. Oh, sweetness. Now all we need is 1 more land. We can drop Scarab God. Ooh, do I want to be a super dick and drop the Fountain, or do we drop in Snapcaster? Let's be super dicks, drop the Fountain, pass the turn back. Goodbye, Westvale Abbey. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Oboro, so we're going to lose some lands here, but we don't really lose them because they're still like islands, and we can use islands. We have Collective Brutality. I think what we should do, though, is drop Liliana before we run out of swamps, and then kill the Heritage Druid, pass the turn back. Another land bites the dust. Oh, so satisfying. No place from our opponent, and do we hit a land? I don't know. I guess we'll drop in Snapcaster, getting back Collective Brutality, and nothing fancy. We'll just deal 2 to our opponent and gain 2. Forced to discard, we'll discard Fatal Push, and then pass the turn back. Ooh, we dumped a Collected Company. No more lands for you, big boy. Problem is, if we don't draw a land, though, then this thing's gonna eat up all of this. Oh, and he conceded. Oh, we didn't get a chance to play the Scarab God. Would we have hit a land next turn? Nope, nope, nope. Yes, no, kind of. It would have been a while, but we had the lockdown pretty hard, so not bad, not bad. Going in game 2, I'm a big fan of Fountain, but he's already seen it, so once he already sees it, the fun is kind of sucked out of it, so I'd rather just have Engineered Explosives and Pithing Needle. Plus, if we're on the draw, it's really hard to pull off Fountain because then like we're kind of late. Anyway, so we're gonna drop these out, put these guys in, and then go to game 2. Opening hand isn't spectacular, but we do have a lot of creature removal stuff and Damnation, so if we can hit 4 lands, we're good. So we will keep Cavern, but no plays. Drop in Inquisition. Oh, they could have dropped in Sentinel if they wanted to. That's weird. Colossus, interesting. Well, Damnation can still kill it. I don't know, I kind of want to get rid of Core to Calling. Yeah, everything else we just kill, so we'll just get rid of Core to Calling because we can't really deal with that. So pass the turn back. Opponent drops these big boys. Polluted Delta, nice. We'll fetch. Definitely gonna kill the Druid now. Do we save the other one for Devoted Druid? I mean, I fetched assuming we're just gonna kill this guy now, but like, you know, let's just do it. We'll kill it now. The next turn, drop Liliana and make him sack whatever he plays. Pass the turn back. Devoted Druid, and now we drop in Liliana. Oh, pass the turn back. This is quite fun. Opponent drops in that. We pull another Liliana. How do we respond? We could drop a Damnation on them, but that's kind of a dick move. Yeah, I guess so. Here's what we can do. It's a little janky. We'll force a discard, getting rid of Liliana. I mean, this is a bit risky. Drop 1 Damnation, and that way he's pressured to kill Liliana, but it's gonna be really hard for him to kill Liliana if he keeps losing his creatures, so we'll pass the turn back. Opponent drops in this big boy. Ooh, bit of a tough spot here, but here's what we'll do. I'm going to return Oboro, then replay Oboro. Now Revolt is active, drop in Snapcaster, and then Fatal Push this guy. So good. Oh my gosh, the tingles. I'm in love with this deck. Liliana we could activate, because he does have that, like, the Chameleon guy in hand, but I really want to keep Damnation, so I'm just gonna hang on to Liliana, and if he plays the Chameleon, then we lose Liliana and make him sack. Or we could use Damnation on the thingamabob. No place for our opponent. Alright, we'll start things off with Serum Visions. Nothing too worthwhile here. I'm gonna get rid of both of them. Swing with Snapcaster Mage, and then discard, and we'll discard the land. He gets rid of the Chameleon, alright, and pass the turn. Opponent drops Eldritch Mystic. We have Damnation. We'll just make him sack and swing for 2. Now, our deck isn't fast by any means, but like, it's pretty fun. And besides, the longer this goes, the better it is for us, because like we just have so much at our disposal. Elvish Archdruid, that is a bit of a problem, so we're gonna do Liliana, discard, getting rid of the Tar Pit. Opponent discards another Chameleon. Alright, and we'll hold back so that we can protect Liliana. Opponent drops a land. Will he attack? He does. Alright, definitely worth the trade. Pull an Inquisition, don't need it. We'll activate Liliana, pass the turn back. Opponent drops another land, and we get Tasigur. Drop in Tasigur and pass the turn back. I think we got it. And they concede. I mean, we don't get a chance to finish him off, but we are gonna get there eventually. I mean, it's just like non-stop creature removal stuff. Oh, so good. This deck is like definitely the most favorite deck that we've made so far. It's like all my fantasies are in it, like the LandLock, like Damnation, like you know you secretly wanted to make a deck around Damnation. And it's just so much fun stuff like Bloodghast and oh man. Alright, this deck never gets old. Opening hand's not too shabby. We'll kick things off with a Thoughtseize. What to take here? Already has 2 of the lands here, but we have Quicksilver Fountain. I think we'll take the Chromatic Sphere. Pass the turn. Expedition map. Oh no. Another Fountain. Drop the Shores. Pass the turn. And we're kind of forced to drop the Fountain now. Don't have Oboro, but it will slow our opponent down. Opponent's taking a really long time to read it. He's probably like, what the hell, this shit? And then pass the turn back. Goodbye, lands. Aha, there's Oboro. Nice. Drop in Liliana. Forced to discard. No point in us keeping a second Fountain, so we'll drop that. And pass the turn back. I think this combo, honestly, is like my favorite combo in Magic right now. Like, it's kind of sad to say that, but it's like so interesting. Opponent searches for a land, but like it's just amazing. Like watch this next turn. Like the satisfaction of like it targets your land, and as it's about to go through, you bounce it back, you replay it. It's just like ah. Watch the joy. Target, tap, and bounce. Look how buttery smooth that is. And then you replay it. Alright, let's kick things off. Drop in a Collective Brutality with 2 modes. Discarding Collective Brutality. Nothing to take. Oh shit, he has Ghost Quarter. I don't think it'll become an issue. And with 4 cards in graveyard, we will drop Tasigur. And then with no cards in hand, we'll fire off Liliana. Pass the turn back. Opponent drops the Ghost Quarter. We will have to fetch for a swamp. So no more Oboro. We do have 2 more in deck though. We hit a land. We'll swing in for 4. Drop the land. Force the discard. And pass the turn back. Look how beautiful this is. Look at this. Alright, end of our opponent's turn. We will use Tasigur's ability. Hit a Snapcaster. And we hit 2 Snapcasters. We'll swing in for 4. Drop in both Snapcasters. Fire off Liliana. And pass the turn back. Opponent manages to play something. Good job. Swing in for 8. Then drop a land. Activate Liliana. And pass turn back to our opponent. How will they get out of this? And there's the concede. If that didn't make your nipples pointy, then I don't know what will. I love this card so much. Oh. Going into game 2, I'm going to get rid of 3 Damnations, 1 Collective Brutality, 4 Fatal Pushes, and put in 1 Engineer Explosive, 2 Countersqualls, 1 Shadow of Doubt, 1 Pithing Needle, 2 Surgical Extractions, and 1 Ceremonious Rejection. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand's alright. We do have Serum Visions and Inquisition, so we will keep another land. Didn't need that, so we'll fire off Inquisition. And our opponent brought in Nature's Claim. Nice. Too bad there's only 2 artifacts in our deck. And on top of it, if he kills the fountain, the lands that it turned into islands stay as islands. Not sure if he's aware of that. Thoughtseize could be a problem for us because he could take this, but I think we gotta take this just to prevent him from getting all the lands out. Then we'll pass the turn back. We'll kick things off with the Serum Visions. Shadow of Doubt could really use that now. Thoughtseize could be good as well. Man, I guess we'll do Shadow of Doubt on top, but then also, I mean, is it kind of late for Shadow of Doubt? Yeah, I think it's a bit late. Well, I guess you could say it's never too late if you're against Tron. So that on top, but this on top. Drop Tar Pit and tap, pass the turn. Opponent drops Thoughtseize, take Bloodghast. Oh, and he takes the Scarab God. Alright. But he will feel our pain. Thoughtseize. Ah, shit. Well, it's pretty far away from getting the lands off. I guess we'll take Ugin. Nature's Claim's not going to do anything. I mean, just the fact that we know he has it, we just won't drop the fountain. So we'll take Ugin. Then this turn, we'll drop in Bloodghast and pass the turn back. Shadow of Doubt, but we will turn Creeping Tar Pit into a creature, swing in for 5, and pass the turn back. Man, how aggressive should we be here? I mean, if he drops Ulamog, we're kind of screwed. So we either go for speed. I mean, I kind of want to keep some stuff open for Countersquall, but I honestly don't really know what the best play here is, because if we go for speed and finish him off quickly, we'll leave our opponent open to playing stuff. I guess I'm gonna take the slow route. I'm not gonna attack with Tar Pit. Oh man, I feel so shitty. But I want to keep these guys at the ready, because I figured the odds of him drawing the last Tron land are slim, but the odds of him drawing something to fetch for the last Tron land are pretty high. Chromatic Sphere, yeah, it goes through. No plays from our opponent. We do have a Fountain, but since he has Nature's Claim, we won't do it. Same thing as last turn, no Tar Pit. I feel so crappy though. I mean, he probably doesn't have anything, but like, what if, you know? Like, what if we tap out and then like, you know, he plays something really good? Chromatic Star, sure. Opponent passes back. What I'm gonna actually go with this, just to draw a card. It's a little bit shitty, but if we hit a land, okay, we hit a land, and then Engineered Explosives. So again, no Tar Pit. Oh, it feels so horrible. It's like we could have been done by now. Swing for 2, no blocks, drop in Watery Grave, and just to be safe, I'm gonna drop in Engineered Explosives for 1. Not really sure if it's gonna do anything, but I don't know. Oh wait, he has Nature's Claim. I totally forgot about that. Well, that slipped my mind. I'm so focused on the Tar Pit and this. Sylvan Scrying. All right, good thing we kept untapped stuff, and then we will counter it. Opponent goes to 5, which means he's within lethal, and our opponent concedes. All right, super sweet. The Quicksilver Fountain, the Oboro, that like it sometimes it doesn't fire off and sometimes you don't need it, but like when it does go off, it's just so scary. And like that's why our opponent brought in Nature's Claim, because like if this thing happens, all of their lands are gonna go to shit. So it's just nice to have something that scary in the deck. And what's even nicer is that it's the only artifact enchantment we have in the deck, so they have to bring in this anti-stuff that only hits 2 cards. But it's just like such a mind blow, like knowing that it's there, knowing that that can come out anytime and blow out all your lands one by one. And the whole Oboro thing, like it's so cool. I know it's not instant like Blood Moon, but it's just satisfying. But on to the next one. Opening hand somewhat decent, we'll keep. To start things off, we'll drop in Thoughtseize. Good old Storm. Definitely don't want this thing sticking around. Well, I think Gifts and Givens is the most valuable card he has. We could drop Collective Brutality next turn and take care of that instead. Now let's take it now. And our Fountain doesn't really work well against him because he has islands, and with this thing out, we'll never be able to make this into a non-mountain. So we'll use Collective Brutality and get rid of the Fountain. Boy. Get rid of this. I'm not really sure. I know he needs both of these to fire something off. Both Past in Flames, that's like really dangerous to let him keep it. And even Manamorphose, I don't know. The Rituals or this. We're in a tough spot either way. Probably get rid of Past in Flames. That way I can only fire it off once. I mean, I don't know. We really just need to fire something off besides Fatal Pushes. Like, Fatal Pushes are not helping us here. Opponent passes back to us. We pull Serum Visions. Bloodghast, Fountain. Fountain on the bottom. Bloodghast on top, I suppose. Drop in Polluted Delta. Don't want to fire it off because I want to keep Bloodghast there. Opponent passes back to us. We'll drop in Bloodghast and then pass turn back to our opponent. Opponent passes back to us. We'll fetch. Liliana, not bad. Opponent takes 2. We'll drop in Liliana and get rid of our Fatal Pushes because like we really don't need them. I mean, I guess to kill his Baral and whatever, but we kind of have Liliana doing that now. We can always make him sack a creature. Gets rid of a Grape Shot. And we're still in a tight spot. If we can survive the next 2 or 3 turns, we should be okay. But I still think our opponent has an advantage in this match, right? Or in the game right here. And he could be going off right now. Yeah, I think so. Because he'll have enough after he activates this. Or where'd it go? Where'd it go? The Past in Flames. There we go. So we'll fire off Past in Flames, get all this stuff back. And he'll still have Grape Shot. Yeah. We just didn't really finish him off fast enough with all like the discarding stuff. But does he have enough for lethal? I mean, going back to early game, I mean, should we have taken the Rituals instead of the Past in Flames? Might have misplayed there. I was thinking more long term because it's really hard for us to finish our opponent off early. So I knew we'd go late game anyway. I don't know, maybe that was a bad mistake. Should I have gotten rid of Past in Flames? Was that a mistake? I don't know. I always feel like I misplay against Storm decks. Opponent drops Grape Shot. Shoot. And then drops it again. Arrgh. And deals exactly enough to kill us. Shoot. All right. On to game 2. Going into game 2, we're bringing in a ton of stuff. We're going to bring in 2 Surgical Extractions, 1 Dispel, 2 Countersqualls, 3 Nihil Spellbombs, 3 Leyline of Sanctities, getting rid of 4 Damnations, 2 Fountains, 4 Fatal Pushes, and 1 Tasigur. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, 2 Lilianas, not going to cut it. Oh boy, not terrible, but not great. Let's mull. Pretty bad, but we do have Leyline, we do have Thoughtseize, so I guess we'll keep, oh man, do we keep this on top? It doesn't really matter, we're going to fetch anyway. Drop down Leyline, Thoughtseize our opponent. Okay, what do we take? He has a 1-land hand. He kind of needs Serum Visions to clean up his hand a bit. So we'll get rid of Serum Visions and then pass the turn back. And we have a Surgical Extraction. Well, we'll put in Creeping Tar Pit, pass the turn back. And opponent just flat out concedes. All right, well, what's with people just conceding? It's a paid match. They shouldn't concede. They should get the, the experience for their money. Anyway, on to game 3. No changes to sideboard. On to game 3. Opening hand's decent. I mean, Spellbomb, is that good enough to keep? I mean, 1 land, not going to be able to play that turn 1. May not hit a 2nd land. I mean, is Spellbomb really enough to deal with him? I mean, yes, no, maybe so. I don't want to be stuck on 1 land the entire game. Like, even if we do win in the end, like, it's just no fun to win that way. So I am going to mull. Not much better. We will keep, though. Bloodghast, bottom. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty rough. We do hit a land, luckily. Start things off with Inquisition. Not much going on for our opponent in hand. We'll take the Manamorphose, and if he drops Goblin Electromancer, we can always use Collective Brutality to kill it. So we'll take Manamorphose now. Pass the turn back. Hit another land, good. Now Collective Brutality, but what are the odds he drew something? There's a chance that he doesn't have anything in hand to discard. It's a bit risky, but I'm just gonna fire off this, but with only one mode to kill this. Because our hand's pretty good. I don't want to get rid of any of this. Plus it's all instant speed stuff, so I think it's good to keep. Opponent passes back. We hit a Leyline. Just to speed things up, I'm gonna fire off Snapcaster. What's going on? Is our opponent gonna counter? No counter. Alright. Inquisition. And then he counters. Alright. Must have something good, huh? Opponent drops a land. We hit a land. We will swing in for 2. Keep this at the ready. Pass the turn back. Opponent drops Gifts Ungiven. Definitely worth countering. It's tempting to use Surgical Extraction on this, but I want to save it for something a little bit better. Nice. Pull Liliana. Swing in for 2. Drop in Liliana. Force a discard. Opponent drops a Ritual. Should we take it? It's not really game winning, but no, we'll hold off. I mean, something better will come along. Hit a land. Swing in for 2. Force a discard. Opponent have to have another Pyretic Ritual in hand. Oh, so we probably should have fired off last turn. If I had known it was in hand, I would have fired it. No place for our opponent. Swing in for 2 again. Force a discard. Pass the turn. Opponent passes back. Swing in for 2. Alright, now I'm gonna try and finish things off here. I want to Surgical Extraction something. What should we take? See, like, I would take the Ritual, but there's already 2 there, so no. Gifts Ungiven is really valuable, but like, is it really gonna win him the game next turn? Manamorphose, only 1 in graveyard, has 3 more somewhere else. Decisions. I don't know. I'm just gonna go for flip a coin. Manamorphose. Poor guy, only has 1 of this in hand. I don't think he's gonna come back. Alright, we'll take the Manamorphose from here. Drop in the Tar Pit, so next turn we do have lethal. Make a discard, he'll discard a land. Pass the turn back. And our opponent concedes. Alright, not really fun for him. I mean, it's really hard for Storm to win when there's all this discarding stuff going on. Or any combo deck for that matter. But I had fun, and isn't that what matters? Well, on to the next one. Opening hand's a bit land heavy, but the curve's really nice, so we will keep. Humans. Start things off with an Inquisition. Wow, this build seems pretty interesting. So it's like humans, but like removal humans. Probably Emissary is the biggest threat here. I mean, Helix is pretty good. Let's get rid of Emissary. Pass the turn. Opponent swings for 1 and passes back. Drop in Oboro. I'm going to use Collective Brutality. All 3 modes, killing this and dumping 2 lands. And that's some pretty good value because if we're going to lose, he's going to probably blow us out. So using this, we lose some cards, but we end up surviving more because the whole like life gain thing really helps out. Opponent will probably get rid of their Lightning Helix before we get rid of it. Yep, but we know for sure they have a Lightning Bolt, and they actually have 2, so we'll take 1 of them, and then pass the turn back. Burning Tree Emissary. Interesting. Best move here, Inquisition him, get rid of the Bolt, then Fatal Push this guy, and next turn we're set up for Liliana. And opponent can, what the hell? Okay. What? These people, like, they get discouraged so easily. They're like, oh, if I can't have my whole hand size, then I'm not gonna play this game. It's not fair. Too OP. Going into game 2, we're dumping 2 Thoughtseizes, 2 Fountains, unfortunately. I mean, I love the card, but like, sometimes you just don't need it. And instead, we're putting in Explosives and 3 Leyline of Sanctities. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, Scarab God. It's a little bit early for that. Liliana, not a great curve. We're gonna mull. And I'm glad we did, because now we have Leyline. Land on top, drop in Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn back. And I'm willing to bet his deck's jam-packed with Blood Moon and like Magus of the Moon, stuff like that. Because that card is a human. Thalia. Doesn't really make sense. Like, so he has Lightning Bolts and Lightning Helix, but he has Thalia? Alright. Fetch for a Swamp, drop in Bloodghast, and pass the turn. Opponent drops in 2 Burning Tree Emissaries, and this. Oh, so just going with the whole creature thing. So he's kind of like Bushwhacker Zoo. Drops this in. So he's gonna make them have haste. I'm willing to bet he got rid of all of his like Lightning Helixes and Lightning Bolts. So this probably didn't even help us that much. Opponent swings for 7. Gets the Planeswalker guy. Makes us indestructible. It's gonna be really hard to come back from this. We do pull Damnation though. But Thalia's in the way. And we'll pass the turn back. But we're gonna lose now, so oh well. Darn. Bushwhacker Zoo it is with humans. Going into game 2, I'm gonna get rid of our Leylines. I don't think he's on that same path as he was game 1. And put in 1 Fountain, 2 Thoughtseizes, and with that, let's go to game 3. Opening hand's not spectacular, but I think we can keep. Drop in Polluted Delta, Thoughtseize him. No Thalia, but this is kind of rough for us. Mauler's a big threat. The Emissary is a good deal. Honestly, I think the Mauler's probably the biggest threat, because like he's gonna give his guys haste. I mean, Emissary's probably the better deal, but long term I think this has more potential for him. Because it's not like he can really block with anything. At least not until we get Tasigur out. Scarab God. We'll start things off with Bloodghast though, and then pass the turn back. Opponent swings for 1, no block, 2 emissaries, and we pull Damnation. Alright. We'll swing in for 2, no blocks, drop in Watery Grave, pass the turn. Next turn we'll go for Damnation. Dump. Yay! I mean, we do take a lot of damage, but I think with Damnation, it's going to be really hard for him to come back, and then we can follow up with the Scarab God the following turn, and a second Damnation. Cool. Alright, we'll swing in for 2. He blocks there, and then we'll follow up with Damnation. Should we bring Bloodghast back? Sure. It'll be fun to see him die with them. Yay! Oh, this guy? Come on, hit a land. Ah, it's a land, but it's Creeping Tar Pit. Alright, so we'll drop in Creeping Tar Pit, get back the Bloodghast, and then we will drop in Tasigur. Then pass the turn back, and next turn we can for sure drop this guy. I'm super happy about that. The Raven. And opponent swings in anyway. Block here. Could have Lightning Bolt. Looks like he does. That's fine because we have a bigger threat coming. And we got Snapcaster to bring back Damnation in case we need a third one. We'll start things off, swing in for 2, and then drop in Big Boy. Pass the turn back. Will they concede? I mean, at this point, yeah, there's a concede. And this guy's pretty good. I mean, how do you even deal with him once he's out? Like, we're at 7 life, but still. I mean, there's really no way out of it for him because we would have brought back this guy here and swung in for 4, so there was just no coming back for him. I mean, we're really good against creature-heavy decks, and unless they have graveyard removal, there's really nothing for us to worry about. Fun times. On to the next one. Alright, I don't want to jinx anything, but we're 4-0 right now, and we've never had a deck go 5-0, at least not recorded, and every time I mention that we're doing well, we seem to lose the next match. I don't want to lose this one, but when I get nervous, I start playing poorly, and now, like, I don't know, should we keep this hand? I mean, Bloodghast isn't really that great unless you force it as a discard, but we do have Inquisition. I guess we keep. I don't know. That's probably a bad decision. I don't know. There's so much on the line. Like, I really want to go 5-0 with this deck. This deck in particular, because I put so much work into this deck. And it looks like we're up against Burn. Burn's actually kind of tough for this deck. Oh gosh. I can just see it now. We're going to lose, aren't we? Oh god. All my hard work down the drain. Like, the only opportunity we'll ever have to go 5-0. That's probably not true, but you never know. I don't know. All right, let's see. Inquisition. I guess we'll take Lightning. Lightning Helix. Great. They only have 1 land. Now they have 2. So much at stake. Pull a Snapcaster for next turn. That's not too bad. Drop in Bloodghast and pass the turn. Lava Spike. Opponent swings for 2. Please don't suspend Rift Bolt. Ah! Shoot, now I can't use Inquisition. Darn, what do? I guess we'll swing in for 2 because he can't block or anything. Then I guess things will get a bit weird. We'll drop in a Snapcaster, getting back Inquisitioning ourselves to get rid of Bloodghast. So this is what it's come to. Inquisitioning ourselves. Alright, pass the turn back. Rift Bolt comes down. Does our opponent have the win? We're tapped out. Forced block here. Pretty much forced. I mean, I don't want to go down to 1. And we pull Liliana. Interesting. Alright, let's swing in for 2. Drop Liliana. Make him sacrifice the Monastery. Drop in Watery Grave to get back Bloodghast, but we're still within Lightning Bolt. I mean, we need to get a Collective Brutality just to gain some life, but the odds of that happening are pretty slim. Still alive, though. Alright, Liliana, forced discard. Getting rid of Bloodghast. They had a land in hand. Oh, man, it's still... Alright, swing in for 4. Using the Oboro trick to get back the Bloodghast. I'm sweating so hard. Oh, man. You know we're gonna lose. I mean, we're at 3 life. It's just like, it's impossible for us to win, basically. We'd have to pull, like, Collective Brutality, but, like, this card here, watch. It's gonna be like a Lightning Bolt. Ah! Going into game 2, getting rid of 2 Thoughtseizes, 4 Damnations, 1 Quicksilver Fountain to put in 3 Leylines, 2 Countersqualls, 1 Dispel, and 1 Engineered Explosives. With that, let's go to game 2. So no Leyline, but we could keep... I guess I'm gonna roll the dice and go for Leyline. Mission failed, but we do have Collective Brutality, so it's not terrible. Tasigur on bottom. Yeah, it's a pretty bad hand, isn't it? Probably should have mulled the 5. When I'm stressed, I make bad decisions. Monastery. Opponent swings in, but we will fetch. Go for a Watery Grave, I suppose, and then hit the Monastery. We hit a land, good. Man, we kind of need to keep Collective Brutality. We should have probably kept this alive. Because, like, I don't want to do it unless we can kill a creature, right? Yeah, it seems shitty, but I'm just going to pass the turn back. Actually, I mean, Tasigur. I think it's stupid, but we're going to go with Collective Brutality. Because that way, next time we can play Tasigur. 2 modes, so we can gain some life. Let's see what we got. So no creatures, so that's good. It's a good thing we fired it off because I couldn't kill anything next turn anyways. Get rid of Lightning Helix and pass the turn back. Polluted Delta, nice. We will fetch for a Swamp and drop in Tasigur. Boros Charm, sure. Pass the turn back. Rift Bolt suspended and Lightning Bolt. Opponent's just going for it. I really want to hit a 4th land so we can get Snapcaster to get back Collective Brutality. That's not a land. Swing in for 4 and pass turn. Rift Bolt goes through. Another Rift Bolt suspended. Do we drop Snapcaster? I still want to try and get another land. Please hit a land. Oh no, it's not a land. Oh my gosh, I'm getting stressed. I guess we'll swing in for 4. And then, like, I guess keep Snapcaster, right? I mean, if we can hit a land, get Collective Brutality back, use 2 modes, get rid of this, I think that's our best bet, but it's like just really stressful thinking like maybe we won't draw a land. Or maybe we draw a land, but like it comes into play tapped or something. Rift Bolt. Please don't have Boros Charm. Please don't have Boros Charm. Better yet, please. Oh, no creature. Oh, no creature. Come on, land. Ooh, no land, but it's Countersquall. Oh no. If I'd known we'd drawn that, I would have dropped in the Snapcaster. Oh. Alright, swinging for 4. This is hella stressful. Oh my gosh. Ensnaring Bridge. Quite interesting, but we will Countersquall it. I think we got it. Come on, Daddy, yes. And they concede. Oh man, we kept the 1 land hand, right? I think we kept the 1 land hand, and we won that one. All right, we gotta watch out for the Snaring Bridge. But man, oh man. That was a close one. On to game 3, and the good news is we get another shot at Leyline. Like if we can get Leyline opening hand, then it's pretty good. And if we don't, then I don't know. But on to game 3. Ooh, opening hand, 1 Serum Visions, 3 Bloodghast, 1 Quicksilver Fountain. I don't see us winning with this. Let's mull. Alright, I think that's fine. We'll keep land on the bottom and both Leylines out. That should buy some time, but it's a little bit of a janky opening hand, like Scarab God opening hand, like I don't know. And opponent drops it in tap, so he doesn't look like he has any creatures. Ooh, we might actually get this one. We have a Serum Visions. I don't want to fire it just yet, because I want to save our life a little bit. Opponent drops Eidolon. Okay, sure, we'll fetch, put this in play, tap. And I don't want Eidolon staying there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch, kill the Eidolon, then drop Serum Visions. Oh man, we might actually win this one. There's a Snapcaster, another land. I think both on top. Snapcaster on top of that. Oh wait, I misplayed there. Shoot, I should put the land on top so we can play Liliana next turn. Oh no, I'm not thinking straight. Oh my gosh, I'm stressed out. Oh well, it's a misplay. We'll go with it. See, like, I'm not thinking. I don't know. Okay, no plays from our opponent. Okay, can't drop Liliana this turn because I'm derp-de-dur. And then pass the turn back. The good news is though, like we wouldn't really want to play Liliana this turn, right? Because then we would have to discard something. So maybe it worked out. Still no plays from our opponent. And the best thing is, even if he drops Ensnaring Bridge, we can win with Scarab God. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fetch for a land, just in case he has Blood Moon, and then I'm going to drop in Snapcaster to get back Serum Visions, and see if we can dig for that land. Creeping Tar Pit, put that on bottom. Watery Grave on top. Pass the turn back. Opponent drops Rift Bolt on Snapcaster. Sure. Oh man, here it comes. Watery Grave untapped and drop in Big Daddy. I think we got it. I mean, not quite, because he could have like a Ensnaring Bridge, and that's going to delay us like 18, 19 turns. A little bit less because of Collective Brutality, but no. What? Why would a burn deck put Path in it? We didn't even have any creatures. Oh, you dirty. I see how it is. Oh, and we got Quicksilver Fountain. It's a little bit late for it, and I kind of just want to use Liliana and Collective Brutality this turn instead. I mean, if we had Oboro, I'd play it. We don't have Oboro, and it's a little bit late. Oboro, if we pull Oboro, it's like hard block, and we basically auto-win. But I think I'd rather use Collective Brutality. 2 modes, Lava Spikes, Lightning Bolts. Take a Lightning Bolt, drop in Liliana, and pass the turn back. Monastery. I don't know, I think it probably would have been a better play for him to like Lava Spike himself, just so he can deal 2 to Liliana and force us to kill it. Because now if like Liliana goes to 3, then we can still make him sack and Liliana survives. Inquisition. We'll go ahead, make him sack, then follow up with an Inquisition. I'm going to get rid of that Lightning Bolt, so if we know we can attack with a Tar Pit. Yep, 1 Lightning Bolt, 1 Lava Spike. We'll take the Bolt, turn Tar Pit into a creature, and then swing in for 3. Opponent passes back to us, and they concede. And we win. Oh my god, we went 5-0. Oh, that's so satisfying. Oh, look, we got a little trophy. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cool. Man, oh man. I love this deck so much, and I put so much time into making this deck, and it's so hard going 5-0 because like most of the time a deck will typically go like 50% or 60% win percentage, and to win 5 matches in a row like that is pretty difficult to do. So oh man, but I want to keep going with this deck. Like, this deck's amazing. So I will try and continue with the gameplay, but my mind is starting to reach this limit. It's like 80-ish matches with this deck over the course of 3 days. It starts to take its toll after a while, so I'll do some on-demand matches and we'll see how far we get. Opening hand's not too bad. We'll keep. Start things off, we'll use Inquisition. Affinity. Well, good thing we have Damnation in hand. We'll get rid of Mox Opal just to slow him down a bit. Pass the turn back. We do have 4 lands, but 2 of them are Tar Pits. Have a bit too many in the deck, but they're pretty cool late game. Drop it in, pass the turn back. Okay, back to our turn. I guess we'll drop a Bloodghast just to kind of fake him out and make him think that like we're putting creatures out and not trying to board wipe him, because if we don't play anything, it's a bit too suspicious. So we'll do that. Pass the turn back. Come on, dump. Yes. Keep dumping. No, there's 1 mana. They can use 1 more mana. Okay, I'll go about business as usual. Swing in. No blocks from our opponent, and now we'll fire this thing off. Oh, yes, yes. Probably will go with the Ink Myth path, or not. I guess he's staying on the damage path. All right, what to do, what to do. Try something fancy. We'll turn Oboro to hand, get back Bloodghast, then Fatal Push this HOU. There's a slight misplay there. I could have done Liliana first before the Fatal Push thing, and that way we'd have both Bloodghast back. So if we end up losing and our opponent's at 2 or less life, then I apologize. But in my defense, I've played this deck about 80 times in the course of like 3 days, so a lot of warming up to do with the deck. Has a lot of strange interactions, a lot of decision making to do. So honestly, it's kind of a miracle I'm even functioning right now, so yeah. All right, we'll activate Liliana, getting rid of Bloodghast, swinging in with Bloodghast, and then we'll activate Oboro, get it back. Oh shit, I made a second misplay. I can't think at all. We could have attacked with Creeping Tar Pit, I just realized that. Man, oh man. All right, so opponent should be at 9 right now. I'm really trying to focus, but like, imagine like 80 matches with this deck. Like, it gets to that point where you feel like you're asleep and you're like not even awake, and I don't know. Okay, let's not screw this one up. Swinging for 6. I'm screwed up again. I don't understand. I don't understand. I could have made, oh my gosh, I could have turned Creeping Tar Pit into a creature again. This is how mentally exhausted I am. All right, activate Liliana, get rid of Thoughtseize. Oh my god. He should be dead right now. All right, I still think we're gonna win in the end, but it's kind of sad to see how mushy my brain is right now. All right, let's try this again. Make this guy into a creature, and our opponent concedes. All right, that was really sad. Like 3 misplays. Yeah, was it 3 or was it 4? Going to game 2, I'm gonna get rid of 2 Thoughtseizes, 1 Fountain, and put in 1 Rejection, 1 Engineering Explosives, and 1 Needle. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, not gonna keep that. This can work, yeah, we'll keep. Liliana, tempting, but I think we're gonna put it on the bottom. Ooh, Engineering Explosives. That could come in handy. We'll start things off with Watery Grave, Bloodghast on bottom, Swamp on bottom. Pass the turn. Opponent drops Relic and passes back. What is this madness? All right, we're gonna drop in Collective Brutality, 2 modes, kill this creature, we'll gain 2 life, and that way we can discard Bloodghast. Although Relic's out, and I totally forgot that. Holy shit, I cannot think at all. I don't know what's wrong with me. Here's what I'll start doing. Like, whatever move I think's the right play, I'll just do the opposite of that. Okay, my instincts are telling me to drop Engine Explosives for 1 and sack it, but that's wrong for some reason. Oh, he could sack this and draw a card. Is that wrong to do that? What's right anymore? I don't even know. I guess we'll drop in Polluted Delta. Will our opponent let it come back? Actually, wait, I think we have an out here. If he tries to stop it, wants to exile a card, sure, we'll take Collective Brutality. Still coming back, and as he does that, we will do Polluted Delta, which will do another trigger that will fire off before Relic. Ah, there we go. And do we drop in Explosives? Nah, we'll make it a surprise. Okay, Arcbound. Decisions. If we drop Tar Pit this turn, we can play this next turn. But what about Explosives? We try and do Explosives now. We could do Explosives by doing Swamp followed by this. That means this can't be played next turn. Could always use the Fountain to kill this. I guess we'll put all of our faith in this guy. We'll swing in for 2. No blocks from our opponent. Drop in Tar Pit, and to keep things safe, I am going to drop the Fountain in. That way this thing can't survive for much longer. Opponent swings in like a big boy. Drops in Steel Overseer. All right, we will swing in for 2. Opponent takes 2. Then we will drop in Scarab God and pass the turn back. Cranial Plating. Oh, that will be quite satisfying. No attacks from our opponent, and we'll go ahead and swing with both, I think. Is that the right move? I don't know. Too tired to do math stuff. Chump blocks there. Oh, wow. Don't screw this up. Engine Explosive, two different colors. Okay, 2 different colors. That puts on 2, and I guess we'll go ahead and do it. Sack it now. Do we sack it now? Yeah, we'll sack it now. I think, yeah. Yay! And a Relic fires it off, and just in time, Oboro. Okay, don't screw this up. Okay, make this into a creature. Swinging with both. Opponent's at 3. Man, this combo here is pretty sweet. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant at this point because like there's so much other stuff going on, but like that's what stands out to me. Oh, and these conceded. Aw, man, that's no fun. What would we have drawn? A bunch of stuff here. I don't know. I think the deck's pretty good. I don't know. I just really like how the Fountain and Oboro combo like works so well, but it's like so like subtle. Like the deck can win without it. Like it definitely doesn't revolve around it because there's only 2 of these in the deck. But Oboro alone works really well with Bloodghast and Fatal Push, and the deck just has so much good synergy. And I really wish I could do a couple more matches, but my mind is just tanked. I didn't expect to be this mentally exhausted, but 80 matches with the same deck over the course of 3 days like really does take a toll, and it's definitely the hardest I've ever worked on a single deck. Like, I mean, since I made the deck, there was a couple decks that popped up that were somewhat similar that were Esper. Let's see if I can find the decks I'm thinking of. Somewhere down here, I think I saw something. Yeah, this is the deck I was thinking about here, but the problem was that I mapped out the deck that we used August 20th, and this deck here came out August 23rd, and this deck here came out August 21st. So during all the initial testing stuff, I had no idea what to go off of because there really weren't that many similar decks out there, and I didn't actually see these lists until today. So at that point, I'm kind of like slapping myself because I spent all this time prepping prepping for this deck because I was really uncertain about what direction to go in with it, which is why I needed to do 80 matches to finish, or about 70-ish before doing this round that we just saw. But there are a couple similarities between this deck and the one we use. Like they use Scarab God, we use 2 Tasigurs. They use 4 Lilianas, we use 3. They use 1 Sorin, like I guess the 3 color, I guess. But and the sideboard is really different. But so there are some similarities. But if I had seen this deck when I was planning out our deck, it would have been a lot easier because then I would have been like, oh, I see what they're doing. Like that's a good idea. Use 3 Collective Brutalities because for a while I was only using 2, and then it took me a while to realize, oh wait, 3 is actually better because of Bloodghast. So if I had waited a couple days to make the deck and saw this, then it would have saved me a couple matches. Like by a couple, I mean like 70 matches of prep. But I'm really happy with how our deck turned out, and our deck is pretty unique. I mean, even though they had some similarities, they didn't have Oboro or the Fountain or Bloodghast, and the sideboards were completely different. So I do take a lot of pride in this deck. I thought it was pretty sweet, and even though it sucked up 3 days of my life, I mean, it was worth it. It was a pretty satisfying end, and we get to say we went undefeated because like 6-0. I mean, that's pretty good. The win percentage is somewhere around like high 50s, low 60s leading up to this round, but it was good. It was definitely better than a lot of the decks I've tested, and it's just super fun. But I think what made it so hard to, you know, the reason why I had to do so many practice matches just to get used to it was that there's so many weird interactions. Like it makes you completely rethink how you play the game, because normally I drop my lands first main because I always assume they have like mana leak or something that makes you pay mana, so I like to have my lands out early. But with Bloodghast, you have to play your lands after you attack so you can get it back. So it took me a really long time to feel comfortable playing this deck because there's so many weird things like that, and all the decision making made it really hard. Like all the discarding stuff, you have to decide what to discard of your opponents. With the Serum Visions, you have to decide what you're going to do for scrying, and plus like Liliana, there's so many decisions to make, and it's really mentally exhausting, but at the same time it's also very rewarding because it feels like the deck doesn't get stale. Like if I had tried playing 80 matches over 3 days with like any other deck, I would have quit long before we got to 80 matches. And again, my favorite part of this deck is just the Oboro Quicksilver Fountain combo. Like I know it's not Blood Moon. I know a lot of people in the comments are probably going to be comparing it to Blood Moon, saying that Blood Moon acts instantly, Fountain takes a while to lock down your opponent's lands. But if you're one of those players that plays Magic on a daily basis and you find that some of the decks you're using are getting boring, then new interactions like this keep the game fresh, and that's why I like it. You know, I could play a deck around Blood Moon, but I played so many decks with Blood Moon. I played Blue Moon, I played White Red Prison, and after a while it's just not that satisfying. Like when in the beginning it was really fun, like when I first made Blue Moon, it was really cool. Like you just drop Blood Moon and it was like, wow, like this is really sweet. But then fast forward a year and you do the same thing over and over again, there's just no more mystery to it. There's no like, whoa, I wonder what's gonna happen. Whereas this, it felt like, you know, it was like it's just new, and the fact that the deck is just so synergistic just makes it that much more satisfying. And out of all the decks I played, I gotta be honest and say like this deck is by far my favorite. Solemnity was cool, Rakdos Burn was cool, and Blue Green Merfolk was pretty kinky, but this is just like a whole nother level of freshness. And I'm so on the fence about whether or not I should buy this deck in paper, because like I have a lot of the cards in paper, but if you looked at the price tag of this deck on paper, it's like over $1,300. But like it's so much fun, but at the same time it's like, do I really need this deck? I have so many decks in paper, like do I really need to spend, you know, an extra like $500-$600 to complete this deck? But like it's just so cool, and I just want to be able to play this in paper and be like Oboro, and then return to hand and like, you know, oh, this is so sweet. But that price tag though, like just $1,300, just I don't know if that's worth it. So if you're gonna buy this in paper, I don't know, it's a pretty big investment. I'm not sure I would do that. If you're playing online, it's a lot cheaper, still on the pricey side, but you know, online it's a lot better. Might be worth you checking it out. Like I don't know, I had a lot of fun with the deck, so maybe you will too. But anyways, I should cut this off because I'm starting to drone on a bit. So I guess that's all for now. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments that you like this video, because I'm still not really sure what direction to go in with the content, because people are sending all kinds of mixed messages. Like some people are saying do standard, do draft, and so it's really hard to know what videos I should be making. But when people subscribe and people let me know in the comments what they want, it gives me some idea what to do for the next video. But that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.